All right, what up, people? It's your boy Chig from Guna Eagle Eye coming to you again with a brand new video. This time it is late night with Chig, where it feels weird not doing a video on a Sunday, so I kind of thought, fuck it, I'll do one. And I know the topic for discussion is the manager, as it has been all day on Twitter, if you've been on Twitter. And it's not just Twitter, even on Facebook. Literally everyone is having this debate, all right, I think everyone is kind of on the same page. We need to change something with the manager, but change with who? And I think for me, I think we can all agree Emery out, but it's about who you pick them with. Now, a lot of the stories that came out today was the fact that Jose had dinner with Raul. There've been some conflicting stories. Some stories say that they had dinner last week or something like that. Other editors are coming out saying that Raul and Jose don't even have a conversation, like they don't even speak, and they haven't done in years. I just see the Archie's comment. My gosh, it's a bit aggressive. They haven't spoken in years. And thank you, VP. I see your donation. Thank you, appreciate it. And the idea behind that being that. They want to try and convince Emery, because I think the belief is that if Emery doesn't secure a result against Leicester, which at this point I think most of us don't think that will happen, he is likely to be sacked. Obviously, it's international break; it's an ideal time to do that. And obviously, if you're going to sack a manager, you better have some sort of plan. And seemingly, this plan seems to be Jose Mourinho. I've always been very vocal with the fact that I don't want Jose in the club. And to be perfectly honest, it's got absolutely F all to do with, he insulted Arsene Wenger once and he supposedly disrespected the club, or it's against club value. It's got nothing to do with that. For me, it's only footballing reasons. I don't want him in. I watched what he did to Man United and I just thought, oh no. And the fact that we are a club who like to develop our youngsters. We've got so much invested in our youngsters. We're not a club like United. We're not a club like Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Man Cities that have this endless streams of cash. Yes, we have more cash than I think the Arsenal board will have you believe. But let's be real here, we are not them. So we have to rely on the kids that we do have. And as I've always said, the one thing to me that's glaring miss from Jose's CV as to why I don't believe he's suitable to be Arsenal manager is I don't see enough successful youngsters or successful young players that he's developed in his squads. I've heard, and shout out to Lee if he's watching this, I've heard Lee's argument that, look at Rashford and look at McTominay. Yeah, I'm sorry. If Rashford and McTominay are your only examples of how Jose has developed youngsters in all the clubs he's been at, we are struggling. We are struggling. You're reaching. It's at the point now where I just want us to. I'm a 6-time world champion, by the way. Just seeing the end of the race. So yeah, you're struggling to me. I can also give 2 examples of my own. De Bruyne and Lukaku, of 2 examples of 2 youngsters who, and say what you want about Lukaku, the man was at least bought once upon a time for £80 million. So let's just have it right here. And De Bruyne is the best central midfielder. I think we can all agree is probably the best central midfielder in the world. And these are 2 people in which Jose fell out with, let go of. I'll remind you of another one. Salah. Mohamed Salah. Jose don't have a great track record with youngsters. It don't happen. And to me, I think when he comes into a club, there's a reason that Jose doesn't last longer than 3 years at clubs. He comes in there, first 18 months is generally fairly successful. He'll come in there, and I'm sure he'll do. I've said it myself. He is a better option than Emery, right? But I also don't think that is necessarily the only reason you give him the job. Because that's how we found ourselves with Emery in the first place. Oh, well, Emery's the only choice. He's better than the situation we have with Arsene Wenger, and he's better than Arteta, so we may as well just shoehorn him in. No, let's just be easy here and just say to ourselves, all right, what sort of manager do we want? What kind of qualities do we want? Me personally, after Emery, I want a manager who's going to come in and do two things: improve our freaking defending and communicate better with those youngsters. Which does raise the question, why my title? Why, of all things, would you then go with an untested, unproven manager? Except for one thing. He is proven. For all of the questions and the debates about, it's important that we get a Premier League proven manager. Oh, it's important that we get a manager that can speak English. Oh, it's important X, it's important Y, it's important this, it's important that. The one thing, more than anything, that is important in management, forget football, management, is communicating with the players or communicating with your staff and getting said positive reaction of that staff. That's one thing Freddie can do. He communicates with those youngsters, gets the best out of them. In fact, the general rumor, the general feeling is that Freddie just gets the best out of whoever he's working with. Supposedly, he's supposed to be hot shit as a coach. That's always the feedback that I get. Though. He's supposed to be really good. He's supposed to be really amazing. He's very forward thinking. He plays good attacking football. He's very much a man manager, a player's manager. Now, I know what you're already thinking because I'm about to rebuff it. But hold up. They said the same stuff about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He came into United and he had this initial positive reaction. He had this, he went on a certain amount of games and they went on a certain amount of run. Man United's fatal error, other than the fact that they actually paid twice for this guy, their fatal error was they gave him a contract before he finished the job. So to me, that's the one thing I don't want us to do. I think if you're going to sack a manager halfway through a season, to bring in such a big, brash character like a Jose Mourinho, I think it's going to be a huge culture shift to what we already have. And yes, I hear what you're saying. It's needed, and it is needed. But we also have a lot of young players in the side. So for me, I'm a long-term thinker. I don't want to bring in someone who's going to bulldoze their way, bull in a china shop, and just be like, you know what? You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. Fall out with half the players, but just in week one, which Jose has the capability of doing. He's already come out and said he doesn't rate Ceballos. He feels like Arsenal have Ceballos-type players, so why have they got another one? And Ceballos, whether you like him or not, we paid a lot of money for him. He needs to somehow get on with this guy, get the best out of him. So Ceballos is clearly not going to be a Jose type of player. I think Torreira will be because Jose loves them type of players. Unfortunately, I think Xhaka will be because, again, Jose likes those type of players. I'm sure he looks at Xhaka and just thinks younger Matic, to be honest. But let me listen. I want Xhaka gone. But if Jose was to improve Granit Xhaka, why would I complain? Having said that, I think everything will be all good. I'm going to give him 18 months. It will be all good. And then for whatever reason, something bad happens. Maybe he falls out with an Aubameyang or one of these players that you guys adore. Maybe even Mesut Ozil. He's fallen out with Ozil before. You know? And then it all starts to go sour for him. And that's when he leaves the club in a slightly worse state than he found it. That's what he does. That's what he does. You know? I got into several debates today about, because I put out a tweet and I just said, for me, my essential tweet was what you're reading now, that I prefer Freddie in. I know that Freddie doesn't have the experience, but to me, the thing that he has, even over Emery right now, is the players seem to listen to him. They seem to react to him. You know, in any training video that you see, it seems to be Freddie that they're reacting best to. You know, I read this story, and I've said this before in this channel. I read this story about a couple of months ago about how when Saka doesn't understand the manager, he goes to Freddie because he just can't understand his English. I don't know about you. For me, I'm listen. I'm not going to ridicule someone who's at least trying to speak the language, because I tell you what, I can't speak Spanish. So why am I going to ridicule him for attempting to speak English? But putting it in context purely of this conversation, do you ever listen to his news conferences? Even if I hated Arsene Wenger, and towards the end I couldn't stand listening to his news conferences, there was a period of time where I not only could understand his news conferences, I'm man enough to say this, I was captivated by it. I was sat there like, do you know what? I know this is bullshit, but shit, I'm up for this. I believe you. I believe you. Let's go. Let's do this. Because he would speak with so much intelligence and calmness, and all right, I get that we're not necessarily going to get a manager like that again, nor do I necessarily think that is necessary. But I think communication is important. These players need to know what you want them to do. You look at the way Torreira played yesterday compared to the way he played on Wednesday, and this is why I think there's actually some truth in these cup team rumors. Because look at the way he played on what was it, Thursday, Tuesday, whatever it was. My man played in his role and actually played reasonably well, to the point where he came off and everyone was wondering, why did he come off? He was one of our better players. And as soon as he went off, it all went to shit. Whereas, and that was against Liverpool. Whereas yesterday, he played. What the hell was he actually doing yesterday? Especially in that first half. That first half, he was terrible. What was he doing? And you know, you look at it and you just say, and you look at Emery, and his idea is that, oh, well, because Torreira is tenacious, he wants to play him further up the pitch so that they can win the ball, which would have some kind of logic, except for the fact that our players don't press. They don't press. To Alexander, thank you for the donation. And Ebo, I've said it many times. You've asked me this question before, Ebo. So our players don't press. So what is the point in having that sort of system if they don't press? And thank you for the well over 121 people watching. Please do stick a like on this video. I can see you've got 24 in there. You guys can do much better than 24. Drill those likes through the roof. So my view is that for me personally, I don't really care for sentiment. And I also don't care for the fact that, oh, well, Jose insulted Arsene Wenger once, so that's why I don't want him in. For me, I think Jose's success is overrated and has been romanticized. I think people think about Jose, and they think about the Porto Jose. They think about Chelsea first stint Jose. Hell, they think about even the Real Madrid Jose, even though he didn't have as much success as he wanted to. They think about that Jose. When the reality is, just ask United fans what they think about Jose Mourinho. Half of them didn't, very similar to our situation, mind you, half of them didn't even want him. And then when he came in, didn't do much. Yes, all right, people are going to say, won the Europa League, all right, okay, all right. And then he won the what is that damn cup called? Was it a Carabao Cup they won or an FA Cup they won? All right, okay. They won 2 trophies. Great. They also spent almost 400 million in the process. Quite honestly, they should be winning minimum 2 trophies. Minimum. And do you think That Stan's going to give Jose almost 400 million. Please, come on, guys. Come on. Come on. You guys are all smarter than this. All the people that are calling for Jose, and you're just sat there thinking, why? For what? What's he done that makes him the undeniable choice for this job? Why? Oh, because he talks him a bit tough. Oh, but because you guys have this idea that he's going to sort out the defense. My dream person to take over is Simeone. You guys know this because I've said it on this channel as long as it has been a channel. Simeone, Diego Simeone seems like the guy with a fiery temperament and the solid football that will sort out this defense. I would love him on board. But quite honestly, there ain't that many defensive coaches. And here's a name I want to throw at you that I've said on this channel before, and that people overlook when they start talking about people who can defend. What about Rafa? I'm being serious. What about Rafa Benitez? The same guy that single-handedly kept that, all right, they won yesterday, but they kept Newcastle somehow in the Premier League in spite of having the worst owner in history. So let's be real here. So you know Rafa can work with small budgets. This is also the same man that's the only man in history that's won the Champions League, the Europa League, the Super Cup, and what was it? The other thing that he won? Is it the Intertoto or something like that? He won like 4. Oh, Super Cup. No. Champions League, Super Cup. I can't remember the 4th one. The only person in the world that's won all of those. All of those. That's a defensive coach. That's someone that has Premier League experience. I would be all right if Rafa came in, to be honest. He would bring in a defensive shape and solidarity to this team. It won't be particularly exciting stuff. But if that's what people are going for, and someone that's going to get results, I back him. You can speak English. All right, I know he's Spanish, but he can speak English a hell of a lot better than Spanish Moyes over there. So to me, that, if you had to go defensive, would be the idea. But let me go back to Freddie. The reason I've opted for Freddie is for simple reasons. He gets a reaction out of that players. He's already in situ, and it would be a nice transition. But we don't do an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You see, for me, Freddie has to be undeniable to give him the job permanently. So you say to Freddie, listen, I'm not going to completely discount you. This is your target. Now, my target that I've set for Freddie is 4th place and a Europa League trophy. If you don't get 4th place and a Europa League trophy, see ya. That would be my hard, fast target for Freddie. And if he doesn't get it, then it don't cost nothing to bounce him up out of there. And then you know that at least you tried something different. You tried to make it an easy transition. Now you're just bringing in a winner, and it gives you that extra bit of time to reassess your options at the end of the season. Because who knows what manager might become available all of a sudden at the end of the season. Jose, for me, is not the guy. You don't want someone as destructive as Jose coming in. And I'll say it again because people are hard of hearing. Yes, I will accept he is better than Emery. And let me add this little thing, because I saw someone tweet this earlier, right? Just because I'm saying all this, don't mean that if Jose does come in, of course I will support him, just like I supported Spanish Moyes. Of course I'll support him. But having said that, if you're asking my opinion, and this is purely my opinion, Jose is not the way to go. You don't want someone that's going to come in like a bull in a china shop, fall out with all the big players, so you're not going to get a reaction out of these players anyway. He doesn't develop young players, which to me is number one reason. We've got special talented young players in Saka, in Martinelli. He doesn't do well with young players. My gosh, Jose's the sort of manager that in a year's time he will sell either Martinelli or Saka. So in my view, this is just my opinion. You just say to yourself, all right, Jose to me is more harm than good. This guy needs an open checkbook anyway, and when he doesn't get an open checkbook, he starts kicking up fuss, which is basically the reason he left Man United in the first place. Now, I had a debate today with someone that said that Jose doesn't need money. My man spent 391 million in 3 years. 391 million. You're telling me he doesn't need cash? No. No. To me, I keep saying to me, it's annoying me now. It's not the logical choice, it's not the proper choice. I would bring Freddie in because I think for me, Freddie will bring in a level of calmness that we need. He knows the players, he can get a reaction out of their players. And you just set him a target. Mind you, I bring him in on an interim basis. You give him a target, and it needs to be a high target. Because if he reaches said high target, then quite honestly, he's earned that job. And that's the way you go about it. So, anyway. Hold on 1 second. Can I catch someone out from here? Oh, what do you know? I can. Let me get rid of this sticker. There you go. So, for me, that would be my choice. That would be who I get in. I think if Jose comes in, he will be a destructive force. And if Freddie turns into another Ollie, like you guys are saying, then all you got to do is get rid. It will cost less money. That's for damn sure. So anyway, let me see what you guys think. 198 people. Please do stick a like on this video. Even if you don't agree, I'm opening up the debate. So at least stick a like on the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. I will read it as soon as I come with it. I take Brendan Rodgers. There's no way Rodgers is leaving Leicester for us. It's not happening. It is not happening. I would take the Ajax manager. Yep, I would. I like what he's about. But I'd also like the Ajax manager to prove himself a little. That's where the Freddie idea works, because if he doesn't reach your target, you take him out, you slide the manager you want in. Simple as that. Arteta, no thanks. No thanks. I don't agree that he would have a bigger pull. I don't know how you figure that out. I'd actually rather Jose. I want Jose just to annoy the Wenger trolls. We live, baby. Chig, what's good? I'm all right. Hope you're good, Tree. I like Freddie, I ain't gonna lie. You got spun Emery. I agree with you. Truth agrees. Brendan, I'll take Brendan Rodgers, you know. He's proven himself to me. He really is. Freddie isn't good enough. How do you know, Matthew? How do you actually know? You don't know he's not good enough. At least with Jose, there is some tangible evidence to be able to say, see, that he would be a destructive force. This is a guy that has never lasted longer than 3 years at any club he's been, and has been sacked ever since he left Porto. All right, I'll give you, with the exception of Inter Milan, before someone throws that in my face. If you've been sacked twice by one club, sacked at United, sacked at Real Madrid, like, bruh, this is a destructive element. And every single one of those places that he's been sacked, he's fallen out with players badly. You don't need another manager to stop falling out with players. You need a manager that's going to bring players together. Is Jose the guy that's going to bring people together? Apart from anything, the other point that I'd make is Jose the kind of guy that is going to unite, and admittedly, a very temperamental fan base, where half the fans from the get-go are going to be like, oh, but I'm Jose. And don't get me wrong, I won't be one of them. Even though I don't want him, I'll give him a chance if they decide he's the guy. I'll give him a chance. I won't be happy, but I'll give him a chance. Let me read out this donation before it disappears. Big up Ramadan. My and my other Liverpool fans love Rafa. Love for Rafa will never die. He was a great man in every way. He would take the Arsenal to the top again. See? And that's from a Liverpool fan. I take Rafa. I take him in a heartbeat. I take him over Jose. I'd 100% take him over Jose. Freddie will be another Ollie. Saliba looking good. Yeah, did you read that story? Supposedly Zidane wants to buy Saliba from us. The cheek of it. Mike Hadge, Chig. I mean, Arteta would make more sense than Freddie. Freddie's a second-hand man for years. Ain't gonna be stupid. How do you figure that out? They're both assistant managers. One is under the job. To be fair, both are supposed to be hot shit as coaches. And one knows the players and reacts to the players. So how does that make sense? Big up Chig. I agree with the Freddie appointment. I would take Jose under this current setup. If there was no one else, and because I want Emery gone, yeah, then under those circumstances, yes, all right, bring the old man in, no problem. But to me, there's so many other choices that I'd rather have. Gunnar saying no to Mourinho. Look, I'm a Liverpool fan. Brendan Rodgers is not good enough for an elite club like Arsenal. He's a Mickey Mouse clubhouse like Celtic or Leicester. Damn, that's some Shane Buckley. Okay. I ain't gonna lie, I do value non-Arsenal fans' opinions as well on this, quite highly actually, because it's interesting to see who they think we should have. But you can't knock what he's doing at Leicester at the moment. Leicester, I ain't gonna lie, Leicester look like they're gonna finish third. Never mind, fourth. Mate, it's only November, and I'm feeling like the season wants to end. I know, right? That's why I'm keen for us to get Emery out quickly if possible. We must react. We can't wait on this. If Jose gets the job, I think Uber and Laka leave. So if Jose gets the job, I bet Laka leaves. I bet it's Laka that leaves. Allegri, please. Freddie, I agree with you, but it's a gamble. We cannot afford to miss out on the top four again. I agree with you, Dominic. I agree. And that's why you need to make a move now. Make a move now. And we're acting like Jose always takes teams to the top four. If that is our ultimate gain, you know Jose's only done that once, right? With United? They've only taken them to the top four once. Once when they finished second. It's just important to keep that in mind, people. If top four is your aim, I'd make Claude manager. Eddie Howe, Chig. I like Eddie Howe. I want him to prove himself more. I think he needs to leave Bournemouth though, in order to do that. But I do like Eddie Howe, but not quite yet. Not quite yet. Rafa does have a feel-good factor. I am telling you, bruv. Oh, I tell you what, if I couldn't have Freddie, Rafa would be my guy. I did say Allegri in a couple of group chats, but Rafa would be my guy. Because I think he'd sort some shit out. He'd sort some shit out, especially defensively. And that's where we need it. That's why we need it. The football wouldn't be much more exciting than what we see now, but at least we may actually be winning games. In my opinion, Uber isn't that spark we need. Werner. So Matthew Russell, you're just that guy with controversial comments. Okay, I see you. Allegri, please. Make Arsenal great again. Get the banners out. We need to get. Oh, see, I knew you were that guy. I would never ever hope Arsenal get battered by a team, even if I want that manager out. No, I don't subscribe to that. No, never ever. Never ever. Big Sam to keep us up. No way to Jose. Chig, thoughts on Kovac? Remind me, is that the who does he manage again? Someone remind me who he manages. Jose Mourinho will get us top 4 if he's appointed this season. Do you think so? Do you honestly think so? Do you honestly think he gets us top 4? I have my doubts. But like I say, would it surprise me? No. Like I say, first 18 months is always rosy with Jose. And then something annoys him and he goes moody, he starts falling out with players, and then 18 months later, it all goes to shit, and half of our good players are either unhappy or want to leave. That's what he does. That's just what he does. Leicester beat Palace 2-0 away from home. Pull the trigger now. Yeah, so funny enough, that was the other thing I was going to say. So Bayern Munich sacked their manager today because I didn't even realize Bayern Munich are like 4th in their league, and they got smacked up yesterday. So they sacked their manager, and Kovac got the sack. Yeah, I thought so. And I didn't even realize that. Yeah, so I didn't realize they were 4th. I am hoping, I am praying that Jose likes the idea and the challenge of managing a team abroad. I'm hoping, especially a team in the German league. And Bayern Munich are a big team. You might like that challenge. Oh, but Bayern are 4 points off first. Okay. A female manager would be mad. Can you name any good female managers? Listen, don't dismiss it. Graham Potter, please, Chig. Ugandan, with a typical Ugandan, what's his name? Ugandan Knuckles comment. Ten Hag. Is that the Ajax manager? Bayern can have Jose. Oh, please. From your YouTube comment to God's ears, let me tell you. Ljungberg camp. So it's funny enough. I think if Ljungberg did come in, I also think Dennis comes in, which would be interesting because Dennis don't fly. So I'm not really sure how that's going to work, but I do think that would happen. The other person being highly touted for the job is Vieira. I've noticed I've not really seen anyone really want or ask for Vieira to come in. I think people are not quite forgiving him for his whole move to Man City. So people are a bit like, don't know about Patrick still. But he's not really done a lot with Nice either. Oh, Ugandan. Stop mentioning literally every stream you talk about Zayek. Every stream. Yes, I love him too, but look at that. Aleo Bergkamp doing the badges. Over 200 people watching. Please do stick a like on this video. There's 67 likes. See if you can get that to 100 for me. 100 and then I stop bitching. 100, I stop bitching. Bring in old Allegri. Vieira hasn't done that well at Nice. Listen, if you bring in Allegri, I'd be okay with it. I know a lot of people are a bit sour on the idea of bringing in Allegri. They see him as a one-team league manager. Ian Chig, I hope you're well, bro. Emery out. Joachim Low in. Oh, sorry, Joachim Low is another one I don't particularly rate. And I saw somebody mention this earlier. I'm also not a fan of bringing in Luis Enrique either. I know he plays attacking football. I just don't think that's the right appointment either. We should get Nagelsmann. Do you know what, John Silver? Wow, John Silver, that is I haven't seen you about in time. Where you been? I'm not necessarily. You know, I like Julian Nagelsmann. That is a big choice of mine. Part of me does feel like it would be a bit early for him, though. Like I was thinking about this today. Part of me thinks that would be a little bit early for him. But if we were to give it to him, I'd be okay with that too. Yes, please. Like Ryan says, get Chig over 100 likes. Keep him on. Well, speaking of keeping on, I'm off in 5 minutes. 25 past, I'm off. I'm a Liverpool fan, and the EPL needs a strong Arsenal team to keep Man United out. See, now these are the type of Liverpool fans I like, not the hating ones. Thank you, Tybuck. Appreciate it. It's weird. On YouTube, you find cool Liverpool fans. On Twitter, that's where you find the bitchy ones. It's ridiculous. Simeone is who I want. Simeone is the dream choice. The dream choice. Thoughts on Ralph Hassan Houghty? What on earth? Why did I struggle with that? Is that the Southampton manager, by the way? With the Southampton manager, no. I'm not having no manager that lost 9-0, mate. No. Make me captain Chig. Make me captain Chamaka. Klopp needs a sack. He needs to come to us. Klopp, I'll tell you what, that was the one manager. A lot of people bang on about the fact that we missed out on Pep. No, to me, we missed out on Klopp. Klopp looked like a manager that would have brought us so much success. And unfortunately, we waited too long to pull the trigger. Chig, to get your channel growing, why don't you do a proper set and get people on? There's so much you could do, bro. So Dominic, me getting people on is something I do. It is something I do. As for a set, watch this space. Watch this space. Kepa in, we need him. No thanks. Is Bergkamp in management? I don't think he is anymore. He was Ajax assistant manager for a long time and then left. Yo, is this official? No. So it's a rumor thing. It's a rumor thing. This is who I would have. Oh my gosh, that is the best username I have seen. DT stolen hat in Emery. Oh, that's hilarious. You in all day. I like that one. I like that. Chig in. Listen. If I was in, shit. I take Freddie Ljungberg with Arteta as a backup. Need a watch along setup, definitely, but not easy to do. Cool, Mark Goldberg, maybe. Oh, listen, don't worry, guys. Listen, I know I'm doing the ghetto thing. And I know what will get my channel to the next level. So don't debate that. I've got it in hand. It's all right. I got it. I hope Andre Gomez has a speedy recovery. Looks like a career-ending injury. I know. I must admit, I saw that and I was like, oh, shit. And then they tried to snap it back into place and there was another picture of it and they sewed it up. Oh, my gosh. Basically, for anyone that doesn't know, Everton played Spurs. Son got sent off and there's only a nasty injury. If you're eating, don't watch it. That's all I'm going to say. I put it on my Twitter, @ColossalChig. Go check it out if you want to. But like I said, if you're eating, don't watch it. It is, especially watch it to the end if you're going to watch it on my version. And, it's horrific. Chig, do I play? I do. I don't play it as religiously as Lee, but I do watch it. I'm waiting to smack up Lee as well. I'll go to Spain just to smack him up. On FIFA, by the way, people. I'm not just being violent. Chig, what about that Claude geezer? He seems to be doing all right on AFTV this season. He'd be screaming at Shaka, it's time to go. Also, you've obviously never seen Claude on this channel. He's been on this channel a few times. I'll probably get him on again soon. I take Ljungberg with Arteta as backup. Leonardo Jardim. I did want Jardim. Then he got fired by Monaco. Then he got rehired by Monaco. And then I see Monaco aren't doing great. So, no. Chig, what would you do in defense? For me, I'd actually play, I don't know, defensive midfielder in his position. I'd also strengthen it with a buy. Maybe someone physical, someone defensive-minded that can play alongside, what's his name, Torreira. I'd get rid of the error-prone guy in Granit Xhaka. Because to me, it's that core that needs to be strengthened. The defense, don't get me wrong, ain't great. It's David Luiz. So it ain't great. But actually, I think for all this emphasis on defenders, it's that defensive midfield area that for years we've needed strengthening. And yeah, I like Torreira. I think he's a decent player. I think he's overrated, though. I would actually like to see just an imposing DM like an Ndidi or that RB Leipzig guy. One of those two would do me nicely in that spot. In fact, if it was up to me, I'd put the RB Leipzig guy, I'd buy him, and then I'd probably slot Decore next to him, put some power in that midfield. I mean, you see if we start conceding goals anymore. Don't watch me, bro. I have some ideas. Trust me. I have some ideas. Freddie as caretaker manager, then pay 3 billion in installments and gets to, do you know what I mean? Just to get him out of the club. Chig, do I play FIFA? I do play FIFA. Chig, I love your channel, man. Thank you, Ryan. Everyone else seems to be criticizing it. I know you're not criticizing it, people. Relax, I'm joking. That was a horrific injury. Need a top DM. Chig, are you talking about Zach? We were linked with him the other day. I can't remember his name. 22-year-old. I think he plays for RB Leipzig. But maybe it might be München Gladbach. 22 years old. Can I get the job, Chig? I managed the Everton game good, right? All these refs that pop up in me and Lee's chat room. Over 250 people do slam a like on the video on 85. That literally means 15 people just need to slam a like on that video and I stop bitching. 15 people. All right, 4 more minutes. I know I've gone overtime. VP, where you at with that overtime fund? Big up, Chig. Do you think we should replace a back three with wing backs? Go with against Leicester? Well, you're going to have to wait for my preview. I was almost going to tell you. I thought, actually, no. Save that. Decore should be an easy signing. Watford are going to get relegated. I think if Watford get relegated, a few of their players are going to get snatched up. Zakira is Swiss. No thanks. So what? We just racist against Swiss now because of one Granit Xhaka? Come on. Big up, Chig. And you're right. That's the guy I want. That's the guy. Because I remember reading the guy was Swiss. Big up, Chig. Do you think we should go with a back three against with wing backs? Louise and Chambers can both play DM. I think it was the same team Xhaka came from. Swiss midfielder from Mönchengladbach. Be careful, Chig. I said one of two. Indeed, he was the other one. Come on, lads, smack the like. Yes, please. Thank you, Ryan. Do you know what? Ryan is such a good cheerleader. There you go. Question, Chig. Are you still excited for what? Back six, mate. I bet Arsenal could afford to buy the Leicester. Well, all right, easy, big fella, easy. From the moment when I see Lee and Chig start to do a watch along, we are not gonna win. Vladimir talking that ish as usual. Would you take Eric Tenge as manager? If that's the Ajax manager, right? Yes, probably I would. Wouldn't be my first choice, but he's on the list. The board didn't back Emery and bringing in Nzonzi or Baka. Well, he wanted to bring in Nzonzi, and they went and brought in Torreira. And I feel like sometimes Emery takes that out on Torreira. Deulofeu is crap. Yeah, I agree. I think he's so overrated. Chig, have you been on AFTV? Nope. I see them filming when I go to matches. I talk to a lot of the people on AFTV, but I don't bother going on. People have asked me to go on a few times. I've not done it. New viewer, Mr. Guna, enjoy your channel. Fan from Colorado. Emery out. Big up to you, Ryan19. Thank you. Welcome. Hope you've hit that subscribe button. But thank you, my bro. Appreciate it. Colorado, you know. Colorado looks like a pretty part of the US, so I will be visiting at some point. Patrick Vieira has to be next manager. Okay, Barry, you're the first person I've heard say that. The very first. Colorado is beautiful. So I've heard. With its waterfalls and shit. I've heard. How often do you go to Arsenal games, Shea? So I haven't been to a game this season, out of choice than anything, because the stadium is about 20 minutes away from here. And I could, truth be told, with the platform I have and the contacts I have, I could get a ticket if I really wanted to. I just don't. It's come to the point now where I actually prefer doing the watch-alongs. How sad is that? I prefer doing the watch-alongs. Everyone turn up versus us. I don't blame you, mate. I said it first, Chig. Go to the beginning of the chat about Vieira. Oh, did you? Oh, my bad, man. S29. It won't allow me to go to the beginning, but my bad. All right, guys. I've done some serious overtime, guys. Make sure I subscribe, brother. Welcome to Colorado anytime. Oh, see, every now and again, YouTube produces someone nice. Thank you, Ryan19. Appreciate it. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Please do stick. Listen, there's 90. Can 6 people just sit that like just before I go? I beg. Allow it. Come on. There's over 200 of you guys watching. You telling me you can't go over 100? Your hat can't get stolen in a watch-along. And there you go. Exactly. Your hat doesn't get stolen during a watch-along. Do stick a like. Oh, there you go. You guys are sweet. Thank you very much. 101. Please do continue to hit the like button, particularly if you're watching this on a playback. Ahmad ST, bless anybody that lives in Alabama. I've heard one too many stories. As a black man, I will not be going to Alabama. But bless you. Does anyone from Alabama? Bless you. You have my love. You have my love. I won't be stepping in there, though. But you have my love. Yeah, do stick a like on this video if you haven't already. Just because stuff came in there with a last-minute donation, let me read his message out. Big up to you, Stuff, for the £5 donation. We need to bring in Allegri. We have 3 assistant coaches like Adams, Vieira, and Henry. Interesting. Wouldn't be what I do, but very interesting. Wilder is from Alabama. Yep. So you do get the occasional black people in Alabama, and still doesn't stop it from being racist. Don't go. So from Hacks. Love your laugh, chick. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you again, Stuff, for that donation. What would you do? That's 5 more minutes. I know, I've done like 10 minutes extra. Chig is criminally underrated. Thank you very much. I don't know why you keep saying that is my second name. It ain't. I don't know why you say that's my second name. Thank you. All right. Chig gonna go and get himself a new hat when it goes to the Emirates. No, mate. All right. I am out of here, guys. Take care. Enjoy your Sunday evening. I believe Tom is live on the Gooner Talk. So go over and check Tom out and go and tell him I sent you. All right, I'm out of here. Take care. Peace.